Hello and welcome to Incomplete Geeks, a gay geek podcast where we talk about not all the crazy shit that's happening in the world nowadays. No, you've got other podcasts for that. No, indeed, we talk about geeky things, geeky fun things, escapism type style stuff. And things in the background that we can ignore and hopefully cut out. But if not, that's okay, because we are Incomplete Geeks. We talk about geeky things, and usually, sometimes, most of the time, often, sometimes, never, maybe, we know what we're talking about in deep context and detail, but sometimes, just once in a while, our knowledge, it just happens to be a little bit
incomplete.
Oh my God, why did you? It's so slow.
That was the most meandering
You're welcome.
Improv style.
You're welcome. I'm John, aka Hot Pool, and over there is Nick, aka Buff Pool. We are your hosts tonight. Or this afternoon, whenever, or this morning on your way to work, whenever you listen to this podcast. We're talking today about a film that we both recently saw, which hopefully you've seen as well, called Deadpool and Wolverine. You may have heard of it. Little Marvel thing that came out. Heavy spoilers for this, for that movie, because we will be talking about it in detail, and why not? If you haven't seen it, go actually pause. I mean, you can turn the volume way down, let it play through, but don't listen to it properly until you've seen the film. And then come back and listen to it again, just for our numbers, because we think you should watch it. I'm assuming, you and I have not talked about it at all, Nicholas, have we?
No,
we have not mentioned it all. But you watched it last night. We're recording this on the Friday, which I think it came out yesterday on the Thursday, hasn't it?
it may have had previews on the Wednesday because some fucking asshole.
Oh, here we go.
On TikTok posted a recording of it to their fucking feed, so I had a massive spoiler.
Recording of of like a significant moment of it, or
oh yes, and to not be an asshole, we've conveniently said spoilers.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you tapped on this episode to listen to it, you clearly know what it's going to be about.
Yeah, you know.
So if you haven't seen it, then
whereas on TikTok, you don't know what's coming up. It just swipes up and it's instant start, and it was.
I think
Chris fucking Evans in his Fantastic Four outfit, swearing and everything. I was like, you fucking asshole. Yeah. That would have been great. Because everyone, like my brother and Doug both said, they're like, oh, it's Captain America. Yeah. And I was like, no, it's not.
Same. I did as well. I was like, oh, cool. Because going into it, you knew there was going to be a few cameos and only a couple that have been spoiled. We knew that there was going to be cameos and stuff in this film. And
yes, it was just
a couple were less surprising than others. A couple were just some of them were like, oh my gosh, wow! Like the cinema that I watched it in like erupted when Wesley Snipes comes out as Blade. We're like,
I did too. God. I was surprised. That was when I was like, oh wow! I didn't expect
which was
him
great.
To be there.
Imagine if that was spoiled. Hope he reported that TikToker.
No, I did, and I tried to do it for like copyright so that Disney can like sue him.
Good.
And that sort of stuff. Because it was a full-on breach of whatever.
I mean, Chris Evans. I think he's got a good sense of humor.
But that was
as an actor.
That was great, and it was so fun to see Chris as like a shit person rather than an upstanding nice person. He's so much better as a jerk, as a hot, sexy, arrogant jerk. I love it. I miss him. Yeah, I miss that.
That was good. That was nice, and his accent's all different as well because he
it was
tying
it felt
into
very.
The role.
Yeah, I get Boston confused with any other awful American accent that I hate.
So do Americans.
So I just kind of like, is he just real Boston or is he just doing a real schmuck bag accent? For me, they seem kind of the same. I don't know.
I couldn't even tell you. Like I mean, like it's like there's like a Boston Bay kind of really thick accent. I don't think he had that.
No, it was just, but he was. Anyway.
It was a different part of the East Coast as opposed to Queens Brooklyn or wherever Cap is from, but which is great, which is fine because I could tell it was different. I couldn't pinpoint it, but it is clearly that he went back to that Johnny Storm, whatever accent he decided in the Fantastic Four films, and that was great because obviously you've got Disney owns all these franchises now, and they can finally do what they want with them. I mean, we haven't even said if we liked the film generally or not. Do you want to do
1, 2, 3?
Loved it.
I liked it.
You liked it, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Yeah, of course.
That was great.
Yeah, it was good. I think I'm just at this stage, kind of over superhero Marvel films. I like them, but it'll never be the same again. After Endgame, it'll never be the same again.
Yeah.
Until an X-Men film.
Yeah. A proper X-Men film, because as much as Wade Wilson tries.
Because until it doesn't have that urgency of building up to something that's amazing or introducing new characters you give a shit about, after Endgame, it's all kind of collapsed and they're trying to be like, but look, it's interconnected, and I don't really care.
That's a good point.
So until it's X-Men,
I
won't really care.
I don't want to start off by saying, what we didn't like about it or the negative things, but
there wasn't anything I didn't like about it. That's just where I'm like, I can't feel those feelings again. I've been like hurt too much by Doctor Strange.
What they did to Wanda, how dare they?
What they did to Wanda, I will never. And then Secret Invasion, I'll never.
Although there is a Scarlet Witch film in the works, or is that just rumored or planned or whatever?
There's always rumors. So, but
it's on Wikipedia.
Whatever, it shows everything on Wikipedia. But was that a Scarlet Witch structure? Like, there was a sculpture. Was that the Scarlet Witch?
Yeah,
it was, right?
Yeah, I thought so. The one we see in Multiverse of Madness before.
Yeah,
which made me think that either because it wasn't her, it was Elektra that came out first, and then it was like I called them forward. I was like, "Is this Wanda?" No, they did not get. No, they did not get Elizabeth Olsen back in, and then it was Laura Kinney. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, anyway, so it's funny that you say that because I felt the same way. Basically, I thought I really enjoyed it. There's nothing I didn't like about it. I mean, I could niggle about sort of this overly gratuitous blood and gore, or whatever. But that's kind of Deadpool's thing.
That's what they do, they kind of and the fact that it's like opening sequence. This is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get ready for it. It's not like it's
anything else.
Exactly. It's not done for shock value. It's done to set the tone that this is ridiculous and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
It's ridiculous.
The other thing that you said was how I felt like I couldn't get as invested in it because I kind of it almost didn't feel like a Marvel film to me. It almost felt like it was sort of a fun thing that they could do with all these new properties that they own now. And I didn't feel like the stakes were as heavy as they could have been. But I don't know if that's necessarily a criticism.
I think that's a good. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a point that it's not interconnecting. It's not building out to anything, guys. Like my brother was like, I thought they put Brick Jean in it or stuff. I was like, no, this is a playground to kind of finally play with all these properties. Yeah. And like Elektra and
see what they can,
Wesley Snipes said, it's like to give them an ending, a finale that they didn't get because they just kind of fizzled out. To have some love and respect put on these actors and these characters, and just be we're done with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for
till you're 90. No.
Till you're 19, did you say?
Till you're 90.
Oh, yeah,
that's what he kept saying to Hugh. Yeah.
We'll bring you back.
It felt, it was, I liked it. And I liked the ending. I liked the little credits at the end where they showed the behind the scenes of Hugh and Ryan and how they came to these characters and how they love the characters and how very much it's that Green Day fucking song that everyone plays.
I know.
It's so brilliant, but every finale has that song, and it's very much like, we've had so much fun. Isn't it fun?
Yeah. It wasn't...
It's over. It's done.
It wasn't...
We're not gonna be like, oh, and here's Michael Fassbender. No,
I get that, and I quite like that they sort of put an end point on it, and it wasn't just Ryan and Hugh. It was like all of the Fox people, all of the, not even just Fox, because there was a few sort of Fantastic Four flashbacks in there as well.
That's Fox too.
Was it? Weren't they?
Yeah.
I thought they were.
Nope. That's why the only things they can't use are some Spider-Man villains, but Fox had Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
God, my hair's driving me nuts.
So like all of the people, like you see flashes of like there's like one quick shot of Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse. Like there was all these other shots of like, and in the beginning there was Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen. Like that's where it kind of started in terms of the X-Men.
With
And
Hugh Jackman.
it was a nice, yeah, and especially Hugh, and it was a nice sort of callback, and it was a kind of a way to sort of say, this is how far we've come. We've
Yeah.
brought it into the fold now, but it's going to be different from all that.
I really hope, I will say this until it happens or doesn't happen, that it means that for X-Men and for these characters is like they don't have to do the same thing again.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, if the next X-Men film in 2030 or whatever it is Charles and Eric having a lovers quarrel again, I might shoot myself.
Yeah, well, I hope
From what Kevin Feige's been saying, it's kind of like it's now mutants are in the universe. They're going to be coming in, but not necessarily the obvious ones. It's not the ones that you think.
Okay.
And I think that you have to do it that way, right? You can't sprinkle in Storm or Wolverine. You kind of that's too much, right? They're the stars, so you can't kind of like edge us with Aurora. Like, no.
Interesting
once
point,
she's
because
there, who cares about anybody else? Once Storm shows up, everyone's like, well, everything else is boring. So maybe this is a chance to, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Is like, are they going to choose C-list shitty mutants that's like Beak and whatever?
Beak?
Ugh.
Is that a thing?
Oh God, fuck Beak.
I wonder because obviously when you have the different properties, like you've got Captain America, and you've got Iron Man, they all have their own sort of stories, their own sort of lines. But the X-Men is just a group. So how do you focus on one or two at a time? Because what they did really well in phase one was they had this big film that finally brought everybody together, whether or not they had their own sort of standalone film or not. They can't really do that with the X-Men because people are just A, they're expecting an X-Men film, and B, how do you sprinkle, like you said, how do you have a film about Cyclops? How do you have a film about, I don't know, Magneto? I mean, because maybe you could do Magneto, but how do you have a film about anyone?
You could absolutely do a Magneto solo, and that would be fucking incredible.
I hope they never do a Wolverine solo film ever again.
I don't ever want another Wolverine.
We don't need it. We've had one shit one, we've had one decent one, and one great one.
And one great one.
And that's all. That's it. You know.
Anyway, we're talking about X-Men films. We're here to talk about Deadpool.
True. Yeah, I know. But I don't...
Because do you think this is Ryan's last Deadpool, or do you think he'll just keep coming back for fun? Because he can do either way.
Point, because obviously,
I don't think there's urgency for him to keep a maintenance of how often he shows up, but he could also just show up every now and then.
I mean, it'd be silly for him not, because no one else is going to play that character ever until Ryan Reynolds dies. You know, in the year 2250.
Yeah.
But like, no one's ever going to else. But the thing is, like, he's had a trilogy. He's had his sort of. I really like how all of the commentary about Deadpool is about Deadpool franchise. Like, I want to matter. I want to be part of it. This is all I ever wanted, kind of thing. And it was like, now that he's got it, in a way, like, where does it go? Where do we go? I don't know. Like, he's not part of 616. He's back in his own universe, you know. And there's only one sort of that one scene in the beginning where it explicitly says Earth 616 when he talks to Happy Hogan, and I was confused. I'm like, hang on, is this before Endgame or not, or whatever? And how did he get there? Did he do his little sort of time? Do you remember this? He has Cable's
and it
device.
It must have been because he said, "Oh, the guy doesn't do it anymore." Whereas if it was modern times, the guy's dead. So
okay, so because it said 28,
but also it doesn't matter. It could have been back in time. It doesn't matter.
I think
you're right. Yeah. It's about is Deadpool going to be part of the MCU? We've waited so long, and turns out maybe we don't really want that.
Yeah.
Like, just same way Deadpool doesn't want to be in Avengers. Like, no, we don't really need that.
Yeah.
And maybe we can leave him over there in his own universe. If we want to do another film, cool. It doesn't have to connect properly.
It doesn't have to, which kind of takes the pressure off of everybody wanting it to sort of progress the MCU. There was one review that said that it was basically like literally rejuvenated the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm just like, well, I mean, really?
Did it?
A, did it? B, did it need it?
Did it need to?
I don't know. You got ticket sales.
So what are the... Yeah, I haven't looked at numbers. I'm assuming it feels like it's going to do well.
Yeah.
It feels like we'll wait for the weekend, but I feel like it's going to do well, right?
Sure.
It's got good vibes. I can't see what people would pick apart.
Considering it's the only Marvel film this year as well.
And the women do not talk to each other. They are hardly in it, so you guys will be fine. And the leads are white, straight guys, and they kill lots of people and swear a lot. So
what?
Don't worry, guys. You will be fine. It's not pushing any boundaries. It's not trying to do anything good or progressive or left wing. So every bucktooth yokel in this godforsaken earth can go and be like, "Oh, I recognize this."
Yeah, this is a film about Marvel, a club for boys, no girls allowed.
Exactly.
It's all about us white boys smashing people's heads and snick.
Exactly. So I assume it'll do well, which is fine. Not like Disney needs more money, but
good. Yeah, fine.
Keeps it going. Standouts. What are your standouts? Either we don't have to go through it in order because I can't remember anything. But what's some things that you like really want to talk about?
Let's change tack for a change and not try to talk about it in order.
I mean, not try and talk in order, even though we never did actually talk in order because we'd always forget something.
I was alright when we did the TV episodes when we talked about like X-Men 97. Anyway, let's talk about Gambit for a quick second because
it was great.
I thought it was hilarious because obviously
I wonder. I should have checked with people who are non-comic people. Like, did they get why that was funny, or does it not really matter? It doesn't really matter. It's still funny. It
doesn't matter because I mean, Tom has he had to. I saw it with Tom, obviously, and he was just like, "Why is he there?" I'm like, "Oh, no." He was like, "Oh, is that Channing Tatum?" Oh, I didn't realize. And I was like, "Yeah, it's a big thing because he's wanted to play that role forever." And he was in it.
He was cast, and it was going. It was in pre-production. It just never happened.
It never happened.
And this was perfect. His accent was hilarious. My main thing is like no one can do Remy's accent, which is true, but it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was such a great way for him to do it. And whatever you think of Channing Tatum, he's fucking funny.
He's so funny, and as
his comedic timing and his the way he doesn't take himself seriously.
Exactly, yeah, he's really good.
So fucking funny.
The only thing I will say is I wish that he would have brought a little bit more charm,
sexier
charm to the role. I think one of Gambit's points is his disarming.
Of course,
But
in this environment, we've got Ryan Reynolds, we've got Hugh Jackman. It's like we can't have Channing Tatum, all three of them, be hot, sexy, and charming, and whatever. So he played the bumbling plastic outfit.
Yeah, that was
it illegible thing. It was great.
I can't comment on his accent because I couldn't tell you if it was good. I don't know. I could never do that accent.
It's such a difficult accent to do.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
I kind of. Everyone either goes to one way or the other. Like, is it Southern? Is it French?
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's kind of...
It's its own kind of island.
It's amazingly difficult, so...
it was great. I really like the effects as well, because it's been really hard. Obviously, Gambit's powers are just a bit bonkers, when he was created in the 60s, 70s, 50s?
90s.
Was he? Oh yeah, I guess he was one of the 90s runs. Anyway, when he was created, they didn't really know. They just blew up cars. It was just an opportunity to throw things and explode.
He used fun fact.
Go on then.
He in his first appearances, he used pins, which could have been like
push pins.
Like it was a pin, like a needle like that. It could have been like a lockpick or something, but it was literally he was throwing that, and it was I don't know how soon off
hairpins, whatever,
like that, like a bolt of something. It could have been because it can be anything. I don't know how long after that it was turned into playing cards, but that was not his character when it was very very first issue. But hey, these things evolve, and we change styles all the time. Look at our hairstyles. They've changed over the years.
You are modern Gambit hairstyle. I'm old Gambit hairstyle.
Oh yeah. I really wanted to grow
mine is.
I really wanted my grays to naturally do the skunk stripe like Richard Madden and Rogue have, but it hasn't worked. I still don't have any grey hair.
I found one grey. I mean, aside from my beard here, I found one grey hair right there when I was 28, and I was like, oh, and I got rid of it. And I've never seen anything since then. So
There's definitely greys in there, but let's not carry on with that. Anyway,
talking about me.
Me.
Okay, yeah. Don't we?
We're in our 40s.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Anyway,
So,
one last thing. I like the effects because it's been hard to sort of.
yes.
Anyway, what I was saying is I always thought it was hard to sort of really visualize in live action, limited live action appearances, how to visualize what his powers do. They don't just explode, kind of thing. It's like, is it purple? Is it kind of like what does kinetic energy mean, kind of thing? And I feel like he's gone away from using the word kinetic. You never hear that anymore because it's kind of a nebulous,
very nice.
a nebulous term in science. But I like what they did here because he just basically charges. He just said he charges the cards, and then in a Deadpool film where they kind of it's just like the purple flames or purple energy, whatever, just kind of blows up their head. Like it worked. I quite like that. And when the X-Men do come into the MCU or whatever film, I hope they take a hard look at some of these powers and actually just make them different, like they did with Kamala Khan. Like that's completely different, but it works, and it just to make it look. I think so. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense visually. It makes sense within the story.
It doesn't make sense, but it does work. I think that's a very good point. That's something that I think I've seen other people say on here when they bring X-Men into live action. Something that I want them to look at is power signatures, because you don't read, apart from like Wanda, who's got a really brilliant, distinctive power signature, and it works really well.
You mean in the films or in the comics?
In MCU,
yeah.
But like in the X-Men films, there wasn't really, like Jean was like, and then it moved. Where's her big bubbles of pink that you get in the comics?
Yeah, I know.
The blues from the show.
They kind of did that with Charles as well, but it was more of like a wave. Yeah.
Magneto. That scene where Magneto and Jean are like fighting over a helicopter, and it's just them going, it's awful. Whereas we know how it looked, when Wanda's doing all this and all the wiggly woos and all that, it looks so fucking cool. Yeah. And Captain Marvel, it's a really, cool energy. Ms. Marvel, Kamala, it looks cool. So I do hope they keep that kind of, like you said, real thought about how it looks and how it's going to move.
They have a really good opportunity to make it look sleek, make it look cool.
And distinctive.
Yeah, that's what they should do.
But anyway, yes. So we liked Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go next.
Go for it. What do you got next?
Cassandra Nova is brilliant.
Yeah.
She. Oh God. So, did you know? You were upset because you knew it was going to be her, right? Like you saw a trailer.
Yeah. I mean, like you see the back of a bald person's head, and you knew that Emma Corrin was in it as like a high up character, so you kind of put the pieces together, kind of thing.
I didn't really have much expectation for it. Like the character is obviously, I fucking hate her because you're supposed to. She is a genocidal maniac, piece of shit. Okay. Old, bald, weird, creepy old woman. I didn't really think about like how are they going to do that, and why is this actor from The Crown going to be this? They were just the way they moved and spoke, the way they were like British and charming, but also weird and creepy. The fucking hands the head,
a really good effect.
Was everything Doctor Strange wishes it could have been. That menacing fear, and it's such a visceral kind of like she's in your... just excellent. I really wish they could bring them back, and that's a great character and a really, really bad guy. So, brava, Emma.
Well, I mean, you never know. You could always...
True.
I mean,
but,
this is like it feels like a playground.
It does feel like it's an ending. So I loved that. I think they did a fantastic job.
I think she's very effective, but I feel like, I mean, not let down, but I feel like a bit sort of like, I'm like, all right then. How the ending was just basically, in a battle of whoever can sort of feel stronger, like a big pull.
That's fine.
Yeah. It wasn't clever.
It's fine. It's fine. At this point, what is clever? It's the same thing every time. Big hero, big build-up, big hero sacrifice at the end. Turns out it's fine in the end. It's the same with everything. The Marvels do the Ant-Man and the fucking Wasp. Oh, it's a sacrifice. Oh no, but we're back. It's the same thing every time.
Oh, no, I don't mean that. I mean just the fact that I think, like the big struggle just amounts to whoever can pull the hardest on the rope kind of thing. And
yeah, it's fine. That didn't bother me. I know what you mean, but I think that's just...
I mean, I don't know what I was expecting. Some clever twist or something, I don't know.
No, they wanted to play Madonna and have a dramatic moment where his shirt blew off, which was a great reference because...
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
That was fun. Cool.
What else?
My turn.
Next.
Let's talk about all the music. All this ridiculous music.
God.
Like, it's kind of... I think he did... It was more so in this film than it was in the previous Deadpool films, where they just, like, pull,
It certainly felt...
reference. There was Madonna. There was it Lana Del Rey? Was it Lana Del Rey? No, it wasn't. It was Avril Lavigne. There's an Avril Lavigne song, Madonna, like you said. There was a Green Day at the end, like just ridiculous stuff.
What was the opening song? What was the opening credits when he was killing people? I feel like that was a really obvious one, but I've forgotten it completely.
It might have been like a rap kind of song. Wasn't it a rap song? There was at least one rap song.
We're not complete geeks.
I mean, of all the things I tried to remember from this 2-hour film, like, the name of every single song was not.
No, but I feel like it was the opening credits, and if we're talking about music being a big thing, one of us would remember, but turns out no. No.
Opening credits, Deadpool Wolverine song. It was Bye Bye Bye. In Sync. It was In Sync.
Yes, which was a very distinctive choice. Why did neither of us remember that? And he did the dance routine and everything. My God, we're so dumb.
I mean, why do we have a podcast? I mean, it was a little bit like... I mean, I'm glad it was at the beginning, because I was like, what the fuck? This is over the top. Then I realized, of course it is.
But again, that's the point. It is. Let's get this out of the way. Let's set the tone. This is what it's going to be like. Do not expect it to be a serious build-up and a big, ooh, it's building to something. It's like, no. Okay.
Soundtrack available on Hollywood Records.
I'm all right.
I don't know. I have those songs anyway.
There's also Spotify. It's fine.
Of course.
Yeah, I didn't know if I really liked that, but it was also fine.
I think it was just a nice way, an easy way to get people to be like, "Oh, I love that! I know this song. I love it. I love this moment."
Were all of them old? Were all of them nostalgic? Is that the point?
I mean,
Avril Lavigne was definitely nostalgic. Obviously, Bye Bye Bye, Madonna, Green Day. What's on the soundtrack? Have you got the soundtrack?
I have all the songs you'll hear. So I'm assuming this came out. No, this is an article from today. I mean, the thing is, like, we know the old ones because we've heard them before. So I couldn't tell you which ones are new. But there's like, Bye Bye Bye. There's This Is How We Do It. Montel Jordan. This is how we do. Some of these other ones I don't even know.
Read them out.
Okay. What We're Doing by Alex Sucks. Do you know this?
No.
You know?
Pass.
Like Fresh by Kid Fresh. That might be the rap one, I think. The Kid by Misfit. I Know by Janine the Machine. Money Life by B Stew. Angel of the Morning. Just call me Angel of the Morning. Slash by Stray Kids. I feel like, was that one? I don't know. And then, of course, there's the Avengers theme. There's Glamorous by Fergie. That's in there as well.
Yes, I remember
that. Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. That's one that's like, I don't want to work.
Yes, I know.
The Power of Love by Huey Lewis.
Yes.
That's quite an old one. Waylon Jennings. That's an old one. I'm a Ramblin' Man. Another Huey Lewis song, If This Is It. Hell's Bells by AC/DC was in it as well. And basically, there's more.
So there was a lot of old stuff. Maybe not all of it. Just,
And there's also The Greatest Show by The Greatest Showman Ensemble.
Interesting. I don't remember. I'm sure he referenced Hugh singing, but I don't remember.
Closing that. I feel like a lot of them are just like they play for like 2 seconds and it's like...
Yeah, and they go edited for it.
Just as a sly reference. You know,
it does feel very reminiscent.
You can watch again and point out, but just like that. There's like a couple of
reminiscent
things.
of like 90s films.
Like when Deadpool calls Wolverine, you know, he's like, "That's okay, Honey Badger. Like you can do this, but whatever you want to." I'm like, "Honey Badger, that's a character. I know that one." Gabby Kinney. What else? Your turn. What have you got? What do you want to talk about?
Well, the returning characters.
Okay.
We've talked about Gambit. Mm-hmm. I loved seeing Elektra because I loved
that was great.
The Elektra film. Even though everyone hated it, it came out when I was at uni, and I was like, I love this hot Jennifer Garner kicking ass in 2001. Mm-hmm. Amazing. And it's great to see her just being a badass on screen and being like, "Oh, Daredevil, I'm so sorry." She's like, "It's fine," because Daredevil's Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like Daredevil, it's fine.
Oh, I didn't get. Of course, because it's Ben Affleck. I forgot about that.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But mainly, Laura
Mm-hmm.
being, I loved her so much in Logan, especially her fight scenes. To see her grown up and doing it and still fucking amazing.
Yeah,
And whenever
she's
she
really
was
good.
fighting and on screen, I was like, I love her as this character. And because she's grown up in the comics as well, which is weird comics.
Was she ever a kid
sliding
in the
time
comics?
scale. She was young.
Okay.
It's comics though, so people age at different times.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. But she's more grown up now. She's one of the leaders, so it looks just like her. And she was so good. And the fights where she just loses her mind, and then I love her.
Yeah.
It was great to see her back. So I was really pleased that they used her.
Yeah,
and
I'm glad
used her properly.
And Blade was great.
Blade's looking old now, though.
Yeah, but it was cool to see him.
And it was good references, like there will only be one
Blade.
Blade. I'll only be Blade, or whatever it was. And so
there's like to camera.
It may be because it's not going very well in development. Mahershala Ali's script isn't even written yet.
Okay.
It's a mess. So
because
it keeps going back.
Keeps
going back and forth.
So I thought that film was back in development hell, basically.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it got pushed back so much because of all the shit that happened.
So much, and script and directors, and now it's been pushed back so much. I don't even know if what about commitments?
And it's anyway. Because of the actor. You can't tie him down for 3 years, pretending him expecting him to be available. You can't do it.
Can't not work.
He's a fucking Oscar winner, you know.
Sure is. Anyway, so that's a separate thing. Yeah. So it was great. It also felt
there's a few minor people from the X-Men films as well. You had Pyro.
Pyro was there, which was quite an important part.
Which is great. You saw him in the trailer as well, but not given much to do. But I think he did well.
Sabretooth and Toad.
You could just fucking ask. There. You could just ask people instead of putting your fingers in.
Just ask. And he was great. Yeah. It was good and a good foil to Johnny as well. That's a good use of powers because that would 100% work.
Exactly.
Toad and I feel like unlike other multiverse stuff, and they even reference it. They're like, we're so done with the multiverse, and it's like, yeah, we really are done. It was about I don't like multiverse stuff. I'm so sick of it's whatever. This felt less forced because we knew it's just
yeah,
and we're done. It wasn't such a big build up that there's a huge crossover. It's like, oh my god, there's a cameo. It was
because going into it, even the character in the beginning is like, oh, do I get cameos and as many variants as I want, kind of thing. And Paradox is like, sure, whatever. I don't understand. Well, sure, I don't know what you're asking, but fine. And that's what you got. That is literally what you got. Which is why it doesn't feel like a Marvel film as much because. It doesn't. Not that I needed to tie into the broader universe, but I needed it to sort of, I don't know, add something.
If it was a Marvel film, it would have to, but it's not really and doesn't have to. I think that's why.
Well, it's not a
quite
Marvel
nice.
film.
No, but it's not a continuation of a storyline in the MCU that follows the same formula. Because I think that's what I'm tired of. It's the expectation of this, introduce that, thing, post-credit done. It was so good for so long. I can't do that now. It
definitely went too far.
So this was good because it wasn't that. And because of the craziness of it, you didn't really need it to be.
Yeah, I agree.
If that makes sense.
A Juggernaut, who was not the same Juggernaut, but he was wearing the same...
Not Vinny.
He was wearing the same
Vinny Jones
costume as Vinny Jones did. And in the credits, there was a Psylocke as well.
Yeah, and there would have been a Callisto and a Lady Deathstrike, which I saw, but they were not the original actors.
Okay, it wasn't.
I don't think it was Kelly Hu. I love Kelly Hu.
I feel like I saw Kelly Hu's name somewhere, but...
Maybe, but I feel like that's sad she wouldn't get a line. Obviously not Olivia Munn.
It wasn't Olivia Munn. But because at the end when a character whips Laura Kinney and pulls her back down, was that meant to be Psylocke?
I guess so.
Okay, well. So you spend times on certain people but not others, and at some point they're just going to be Easter eggs kind of thing.
And it was just fun. It was oh yeah, Psylocke. Oh yeah, cool, Juggernaut. Let's have fun. You didn't get hung up on it because it wasn't trying to build up.
Yeah.
You couldn't be like, actually,
Yeah.
Johnny is from New York and his accent's like, no, we don't care. It's Chris Evans doing a bit.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. It was not that.
Actually, the Fantastic Four car wouldn't make that noise.
And the Fantastic Car was there. Yeah. That was so cute. I loved it. That was great.
I didn't want to call it that because I didn't know if it was I didn't know if that's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I have heard of the Fantastic Car.
That is the Fantastic Car.
Because you're gonna be like,
the flying bathtub.
Yeah,
that was great. It was just fun the way that comic book movies are supposed to be fun before we all took it too fucking seriously.
Which is, I don't think seriousness is a bad thing, but you have to do it in the right way, because obviously you're pulling from a comic book which is meant to be fun. If you're going to make something serious about it, you need to sort of adapt it in that way.
You have to take your work seriously, but you can't take everything too, like, I don't know, just respect the work, but like, calm down, guys.
Yeah.
Phil.
Yeah, fine.
What else?
The dog.
Oh god, it made me feel sick.
It was Can we talk about nice pool briefly?
I'm glad I would have been annoyed if they didn't use his face throughout the whole thing.
What, Ryan Reynolds' face? And his Canadian. Oh, sorry. Sorry. That was cute.
It's great.
Yeah, and then I feel like his sort of his undoing, being riddled with bullets, was a bit silly, because there was no reason for Deadpool to have walked across to the donut thing. Like, it was just made up. But then again, it's, why am I looking for meaning in this kind of thing? It was just
no, you don't need to.
Ladypool is, I think that was Blake Lively.
I stayed to check because it didn't sound like her, and I was like, I thought they would use her, so I wanted to double check, and it was Blake.
It didn't sound like anybody I'd recognize, so I was like, maybe it was her, because I don't know.
I assume, like Ryan, that would be her in the suit, not just doing a voiceover, because otherwise they would have given two names as credit. So it would have to be her in the suit, otherwise that's not fair. But it did say Blake Lively in the credits.
Good.
So
lovely.
Which it should do. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's like an extra boner when I'm watching Gossip Girl. It's like, yeah.
Wait, was she in that as well? Is that what?
Yes.
Okay,
she's the star of Gossip Girl.
She's not the star. Is she the...
Blake Lively is the star of Gossip Girl. If you tell me it's Chase fucking Crawford, Jesus. No. She's Serena Vanderwoodson, I'll have you know.
No, I'm thinking of Gilmore Girls.
Oh, no. Gossip Girl. XOXO Gossip Girl.
Gotcha. Fine. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yes.
Is she the gossiper? She plays the gossiper?
No, she's the one that the Gossip Girl gossips about.
Oh.
She's the it girl that Gossip Girl gossips about. And the reveal is that it was her boyfriend the whole time.
Chase Crawford?
And that's... No, Penn Badgley. Don't know who that is. Sorry, spoilers! Oh my god, I'm so sorry. A show that's 15 years old.
Buffy dies in the end. Anyway,
What? Oh god. Yes. So Blake, some of the jokes about like Hugh Jackman's divorce were in there. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't catch that. I remember the line, something about.
That was quite recently, and that was so he must have been okay with it. But some of the jokes were cutting a little bit.
Yep.
Close, which is also fun.
Fun. What do you think about the fight scenes?
Very distinct. I was just going that the whole time, just because it was ridiculous.
I mean,
but that was fun.
That's gonna get the straight bros in.
It just hurt every time. They'd always like stab through there, and I was like, "Oh god, that's so horrible! Oh, why is it always through the side? That's where it hurt." But it was great. Yeah, it's just fucking fun and so matching the most Wolverine can be, and the most Deadpool can be.
Yeah,
and just letting them do that.
I was going to say the same thing. I think they did a good job of pulling a lot of those signature moves from Wolverine, particularly because you don't see that very often, and it looks cool.
And there wasn't, because it's Deadpool and it's silly and he doesn't die. It wasn't. Oh, you just killed a load of soldiers who were just doing their job. Oh, it was just disgusting and fun.
Yeah. I thought
it was great. Yeah, really good choreography, really fast, fun, punchy.
They must faint a lot from all the blood they lose. I mean, I don't know how they get back up all the time. Or drink a lot of water. Both of them. Wolverine and Deadpool.
The actors or the characters?
Yeah, the actors are losing a lot of blood.
The fictitious mutant characters with regenerative powers that live for hundreds of years. Yeah, I think they're fine. I don't think they need to worry about hydration levels. Having said that,
and eating a lot of cookies or whatever they give you at the end when you donate blood, they always feed you
sugar levels. And again, both of them, would they be uncircumcised then? Because would it just grow back?
Because it would just grow back. That's how we bring the gay in. We talk about penises somehow.
Penises. Well and do you know who's the only other person who's ever played Wolverine?
Hang on. Oh my god.
The only.
Oh, we forgot about something.
Speaking of gay, the only other actor who's ever played Wolverine.
Not in this film, you mean?
Not in this film. Before this film, now actually. So that's actually that's fuck that canon up. Was Troye Sivan played young Wolverine in the old
flashback,
one?
I forgot about that. It was Troye Sivan,
who was also Australian. But now tons of them have. Henry fucking Cavill.
How have we not mentioned Henry fucking Cavill? I mean, please.
Was that actually him, or was it just CGI?
I don't care. It was hot. I liked
that.
That
was great.
Well,
it was funny.
He does that sort of like snick, and just runs at him like that. It was so good. I mean,
what did he say? It's like, people would love this. Like, yeah, we really would. We would have really loved that. That would have been great.
In the scene, he said that.
Deadpool said something like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not a complete geek. I can't remember it word for word, but along the lines of like, this is what people want. It's like, it really is.
Yeah. Yes, please.
We would have loved that.
Sorry, Hugh. We love you, Hugh. We'll never leave you. Oh no, Henry. Oh, bye.
Yeah. No, never mind. Comic book accurate height Wolverine.
I was going to say that next. Yeah, is that really
great reference?
Like 5? It was like it's like
he's 5'4" or something like that. Yeah, he's a little scrappy Wolverine.
That's like the side of Kylie.
Bob Hoskins was originally cast as him. Can you imagine? Short. Yeah, isn't that cute? Age of Apocalypse Wolverine. That was great.
Which one was that one?
When he had stump for a hand, big hair. That was Age of Apocalypse. And Up on the X, that's a very iconic cover from the 80s where he gets crucified in the outback. So things like that is like, that doesn't bother you guys because you don't know what it is. It's still interesting and fun. Yeah. But for us, that's cool. That's a really important reference. It's really good.
Yeah. I do know about Patch Wolverine as well. In his white suit.
That was great.
Patch. That was fun.
Mantrapore.
I thought they were going to make more of that one because of how he's featured in the trailers, but I'm glad they didn't have to.
Yeah. And I'm quite glad that they didn't go more into this Wolverine's world, like what he did wrong, or which world was it, or what, that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
they did. I know he did. He said he went away and they died. They didn't talk. Yeah. They didn't go back. They didn't fix it. And that's the whole point of this film, is that we're not fixing it. We're not going back. Mm-hmm. It's gone.
I do like how, and I like how they added Hunter B-15 in it. I wish she would have done more as soon as we saw her. She should have like run right away to the anyway. But she does say like that your past is who was what made you who you are. So it's like, yeah, good for you. Please take over the TVA now, please, because I like her a lot.
I thought she had. I'm so bored in Loki. I don't remember.
Who would you have liked to have seen in the film? Last question. Final question. Who was not there that you kind of like? Not that the absence was like a wrong thing, but like who would you have liked in the film that wasn't there? I'll go first. I kind of feel like it would have been It would have been a good tie-in if Loki had shown up in some way, even if it was just like a vision of him or a picture of him, something like that, of him control. Because a lot of the things that they talked about, a lot of these timelines naturally dying out, or the fact that Laura Kinney says you are always the wrong one until you're not, kind of thing. These are all sort of elements of storytelling. And the way that they left Loki in season 2 is that he's like the master of storytelling or whatever now. He's like the god of stories, which makes sense. But that kind of, if you want to make a film about the universe, like a film about the Disney metaverse, multiverse, whatever, like you should mention the fact that it's all just stories. It's all about storytelling. It would have been not out of place if Loki had appeared somehow as being in charge of all these stories, whatever, because these stories about Elektra and Blade and they wanted an end to their story, and it would have fit in. That's all.
But that leads to a problem of trying to keep it canon and keep the continuity going. Whereas I think the best part of this film was like, oh, stop, who cares?
But it's the TVA.
Don't worry about
the
it.
TVA is already making
just don't worry about it anymore. And I think it's a good point, but if they had made effort to do that, to make it make more sense, or to make the whatever,
or at least a reference,
it's keeping it a bit too serious, like they're trying to make it fit. I like the fact it's like, do you guys remember this? It doesn't matter, they're time people, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
but that's a fair point. But no.
Or is it nobody? Is the answer nobody?
I can't think of, because I didn't want Jean or Storm. There was rumors that Halle Berry was going to be in there, but I was like, I don't think we need that.
What about Taylor Swift as Dazzler? That didn't happen.
No, it's never happened. They've been saying that for years now. I can't wait for there to be a proper Dazzler. That would be great, but I don't have faith in them anymore to do it properly. No, I don't. I didn't want anyone else.
She should be the first mutant to have her own solo film. Thank you very much.
She would make a great TV show, but I don't trust Disney Plus to make good Marvel TV shows anymore. So I don't know what I would do. No, I don't want any more. My favorites was having Laura back. I think that was great. Yeah. And I think Cassandra Nova was fucking brilliant. My favorite that I wish that they could keep, and if they could move over, would obviously be Magic from the New Mutants, but I don't think that's necessary. Maybe they can in the future, because Anya Taylor-Joy is her.
Yeah, she looked great.
Was so perfect, but also I just need to let that go, which hurts my heart, but there we go.
I mean, they brought fucking Charlie Cox back as Daredevil, so you never know. That was a different universe. Kind of.
Yeah.
There's a reason they could have.
Yeah, but not quite. It was adjacent rather than different. And it did well and was beloved, whereas New Mutants was just atrocious.
It was.
So
I've not seen it, but I've heard only bad things about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've basically seen it by watching reviews of YouTubers explaining why it was bad. So I feel like I've seen it. I
mean, I'd watch it again because she was amazing. But no, it was stuck in production hell for so long. Mm-hmm. Even before the pandemic, it was just never going to work. Plus, Simon Kinberg is awful, and he was given complete control of that. So
I think he's anyway. I don't think he's a good director. I think he's good as...
Sure was not, or a writer. He was a terrible writer. Anyway.
So dear listener, if we missed anything, let us know. What did you after you watched it? Tell us your favorite part. Tell us what you wished was there and wasn't. Tell us why this is the best film that you've not seen in a long time. We'd love to hear from you. Email us at incompletegeekspodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you. Otherwise, you can reach out on our socials. We're on TikTok and Instagram. Our handles there are at incompletegeeks. While you're there, tag
us. Yeah, tag us in your hot takes or your fan theories or things we missed.
Fan theories.
Why was the shop that they crashed into called Liefeld's? Because that's who created Deadpool. But it was about feet. Does Liefeld have a foot fetish?
I thought of that as well. What are your theories?
Let us know.
Tag
us, and we'll have a chat. We'd like to know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know the answer if Rob Liefeld has a foot fetish. I am a comic book fan, but you know what? I get things wrong. Yeah. There's gaps in my knowledge. Yeah. I am not a complete geek.
But you are working on it.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.